Welcome back to another episode of the Bad Influence Podcast. I'm Jordan Banderas. Before we begin, don't forget to hit that follow, subscribe button so you don't miss out on any episodes. So in today's episode, I want to talk about something that I feel is very important, especially right now with everything that's going on when it comes to jobs and the economy, because I feel that a lot of us hate our jobs right now, especially with everything that happened during the quiet quitting. Then there's another term, or the great resignation. There's so many terms right now in regards to that I want to address this, because I feel that we've all been there, dreading the sound of the alarm when it goes off at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., whenever you need to wake up and you struggle to get out of bed. I know that has happened to you because it happens every single day to me. And I also feel, and probably you feel the same, and you can actually share this in the comments, I feel like every minute at work drags on forever. It literally feels like the biggest drag of the day. Like, I'm not happy at work. I'm not having fun anymore. I just hate it. So my question to you is it really that bad to hate your job and want to quit? My answer to that particular question is no. And in fact, based on my own opinion, hating your job can be a good thing, a very good thing if we look at it from my perspective. So let me explain to you why I think that is. But first, I want to be very honest with you. I don't want to hide anything from you guys. I just want to say this. I absolutely hate my job right now. I hate it. It has become unbearable. It's just hell. And I've been thinking about quitting my job for the last few months. And actually, here's what happened. As of Thursday, I quit. But here's what happened in my situation. Because I have always complained to my wife about what happened at work, how they were treating me, all the bullshit that I went through. The day after I quit, she decided to send an email to the actual CEO. To the actual CEO. Usually the CEOs don't respond. Right? I don't know how she found him on LinkedIn or anything like that, but she did it. She found him on LinkedIn. She sent him an email. She told him everything that pretty much I told her, and these are the same things that I have complained to management about, and they didn't do anything about that, so nothing changed. So the CEO learned this from my wife's perspective, and he responded. He actually answered back to that email and said oh, we need to talk. So the CEO, HR, and my bosses want to talk to me. So this week, I'm going to meet with HR, my boss, and the CEO. So I may get a raise, I may get fired, but at that point is what the hell? I had already quit. You're the one that is asking me to come back, and I want to know why. So that's what's happening right now. That's why I wanted to talk about this right now, because I feel like when you hate your job, it's okay, because hating your job can actually be a positive thing, in my opinion. A lot of people don't agree with me in that sense, because they feel that you should love your job. We're all have been conditioned to love our jobs, even though they don't really love us back. It's like a toxic relationship. You go in, you put 10, 15 hours, 8 hours if you have a standard shift, and at the end of the day, you come home defeated. You come home depleted because you have no energy. So you start hating it. And one of the reasons why I believe that hating your job is actually a good thing is because it can motivate you to search for something better, which is what I did in the last few weeks. I've been doing that for the past few weeks, for the past few months, and I have found some good opportunities actually that are going to pay me more for the exact same job that I have right now. So based on that, I know that I can get more money. So we're going to see this week if they're willing to pay more money or they're willing to just hire somebody with no experience and they're going to have to train him. So I feel that right now we kind of have the upper hand still. Because if you're good at your job and your bosses actually know that you're good, and this is what I've been told by my boss because she sent me a message. She said, the CEO sent me your email. We want to sit down and talk. And she even said, like, you're good at what you do. We want you in the team. Let's sit down and talk about this. And that's what we're going to do. But there's so many issues in this situation that I have right now because one of the things that happened is that the fucking insurance again. I have talked about the insurance that we have, my wife and I, but this time they really screwed up. So I took my wife to the doctor and somehow the insurance said that my coverage was terminated. So I couldn't take my wife to the doctor. They're like, no, you have to handle this. I called them. They're like, oh, there was an error in the system, whatever. It's like, you know what? You cannot be doing that kind of bullshit. So that's why I quit last week. On Thursday, I was like, you know what? I'm not going back to work. Fuck you guys. I know I can do things on my own. So that's what happened. So me hating my job and everything that had happened up to that moment, it motivated me to realize that they're underpaying me, they're treating me like shit, and that I deserve better. And I believe that you also have to do this a lot throughout your job life or however long you actually work at certain jobs, because if you're unhappy, or if you're content with your current position, with your current job, even though it may be uninspiring, you're actually going to be less likely to strive for something more fulfilling or something that's going to bring you even more money or even give you a better opportunity to move up within a company to further your career, depending on your field. But if you're unhappy at work, like me and possibly like a lot of people that are listening to this podcast today, you'll be more determined to find a career that truly speaks to you. Because it's all about stepping outside of your comfort zone and taking a leap of faith. And I know that can be scary because that's pretty much what I felt like on Thursday, quitting, not going back to work and being like, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to find something on my own. I know I can do it. I can do deliveries. I can, do part-time here, there, and I'm still going to be able to work on the podcast. I'm still going to be able to do what I need to do so I can actually get better. And I'm going to do it on my own. And I had to make sure that I was able to take care of my wife because of her health issues. So I had everything figured out until my wife sent an email, of course. But that's not a problem because I want to know if they're willing to pay me more. So everything is going to be great this weekend. I may not have a job still, and I will let you guys know. Or I might stay there with a higher pay raise, and it will allow me to take my wife to better doctors. That's one good thing about this. But another reason why it's okay to actually hate your job is that it prevents you from becoming complacent in life. Because if you're too comfortable in your current position at work or wherever you work at in this situation, you may not be as open to look for new opportunities. You may not be as open to say, you know what, I can start my own business. I can do something like this on my own and make my own hours or set my own hours, make my own money and not having to answer to somebody that may not be as smart as I am. Because that's one thing that's happening right now at my job. The people that are on the higher positions, not in the quality department, but in the production department, they suck so much, and they are, with no disrespect, the biggest idiots I have ever worked with. Like, they don't know how to get from point A to point B when it comes to doing good quality product, where when they need to provide good product to the customers, they don't care. And I'm like, if you keep doing that, guess what's going to happen? The customer is going to walk away, and they don't give a shit. So that's why another reason why I had to quit. That's why I hate that. And if your current job is like that, where the people above you, the people that are making the decisions that actually can take the company further up and make more money, or literally destroy the company, are making those decisions, and they can actually cost you your job. That's one of the things. So when you hate your job, you can say, like, I can see the issues right now, so I better prepare myself to actually look for something better, because these idiots are going to ruin the company. Look at what has happened in big corporations, where the people that were running the company destroyed it. Look at what happened at Credit Suisse. This bank was around for like over 100 years, and based on bad management, they destroyed that. And they had to sell it. And there's so many examples that I have seen. My previous job did the same thing. They were losing money. They were bleeding money every month. They were losing like $200,000-$300,000 a month. And when I saw that, and when they told us that, I was like, this ship is fucking sinking. So I had to look for something better, and I did. And when I quit, they said, oh, you're missing them big opportunities. We're growing. What happened 4 months later? They close. And that's why it's good to hate your job, because you'll be more likely to look for alternative ways to make money, either on your own, like I mentioned, or you're going to find another job that's going to pay you more and treat you better. Another reason why not liking your job can actually be good is because it can prepare you for the worst case scenario in life. Like, for example, when there's an economic downturn and your company is starting to lose money, and not get as many orders, or work has started to slow down, you can see your way out. But if you're deeply invested in a job that you love, losing that job can be devastating. And if you don't see the red flags coming your way, or on the hallway sometime, or because of what people are saying or talking around the company, you may miss out on those opportunities to get out on time. And when the company goes under and they have to close, you're the one that's going to suffer. Typically, the CEOs or the big wigs in the situation, they get paid. They get a big payoff. But they're a regular worker, don't get shit. Right? You don't get anything. So that can be devastating. But I think, and this is my honest opinion, that if you view your job as a simple means to an end, it can be easier to bounce back from setbacks. Because when you quit your job, like what I did this past week, I had to figure out how to make the money. And I came up with different ways of how to do it. And I started making my own money until I got that email from the CEO, thanks to my wife. And I'm not mad about that, to be honest, because I want to know what they're willing to do. It's like, I feel like I have the ball is in my court. So it's like, hey, I have the ball, let's play. And I'm going to dunk on you, and I'm going to get as much money as I can, or as much money as I want, because I know my worth. And if they want me back, there's going to have to be some changes. And I hope the CEO listens. Another thing that I see when it comes to jobs, and it's important to talk about right now, is that if you don't hate your job and you start making friends, you have like this bond with your coworkers, that can actually keep you trapped in that job. Because once we form those relationships and we bond over humor, sarcastic jokes, talking shit about work, talking shit about other coworkers, you've done it, I know I've done it, it actually becomes harder to break up those friendships. Like, you don't want to leave that place because you're like, I'm going to miss my friend, I'm going to miss my buddy, my smoking buddy, I'm going to miss my gossip buddy. So ultimately, when you find the right gig for yourself, you will know in your heart that it is right for you. But you're going to have to break off those bonds, and sometimes the people that you leave behind are going to be mad. Like right now, I have this friend at my current job, because apparently I'm not fired yet. We've been very close, but once I told her that I quit, she started acting different, like, oh, I'm jealous of all this. I'm like, you can leave too. But obviously she doesn't want to. So sometimes they can be jealous. Sometimes they can get mad. Sometimes they can actually almost like hate you for leaving the sucky job and finding something better for yourself, because they're not willing to do or take that actual leap of faith. So, in my opinion, if you just can't stand your job, don't be too hard on yourself. I want you to understand that. Don't be too hard on yourself, because it's okay to hate your job. I've hated it for the last 5 months, and it has pushed me to the brink where it's either go hunt or starve to death. That's how I feel it. So it can be a good thing hating your job. So just remember to keep an open mind and stay optimistic about all the possibilities that are in front of you or that are coming your way. But anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about on today's episode. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the growth and the feedback. Thank you for following. Thank you for everything. Remember to share, like, and subscribe. We are growing thanks to you. And you can find us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The link, and also Threads. The links are in the episode's descriptions. And here are my final thoughts. Build your worth and find a better job, and have a great day.